maybe you should take a look at yourself. I should've listened to the friends that told me that you ain't worth it. But looking back at you in the mirror, 'cause you ain't. I'm not gonna be a trophy girl, towing your line. You can't shame me into what you want, 'cause all my thoughts are mine. Accepting you, accepting me, for all I am, I'm trying to set you free. So come take a ride with me, we'll light up the sky. So let me, 'cause now you're an angel, flying high in the sky, lift me down here, and I'm wondering why the bottom of this whiskey bottle's like smoke in the sky. 'Cause it's gone just like you, and I'm sat here left wondering. Reaching out with a helping hand, spending time with your best friends, tuning into a favorite song in my truck with the windows down. Scorching sun as we start to play, the 19th hole at the end of a perfect day. Mom on the smile as she stirs up the tea, pushing my heart that people were as happy as. You said you'd never leave me, you'll be right by my side. The days that I could count and the evenings I cried, I thought you left me as baby put to rest. Thought I walked along the road, you carried me instead. Oh, you carried me instead. But I can't get over that rainbow that you built, and I can't get into that house upon that hill, and I can't get over. I poured you a drink, you gave me a smile, made me go weak with that look in your eye. I can't quite believe you're looking at me. Hard to imagine there's something to see. I'll never forget how you drove me wild with that look in your eye. That look in your eye. Growing up in a run downtown, never stopped my friends coming round. Didn't have much, me and you, but it taught us what was real, what to hold on to. Having fun from 9 till 5, never ever felt so alive. Released a sigh, a fake tear, you crying. You made it so clear you won't be by my side, and we can't do this no more. It's not like it was before. Now that you're gone, you've left me lonely. Once more, gonna get so hot down here, ain't gonna go home, just one more beer. 'Cause we're gonna cut loose, and there ain't no use in trying to stop us from dancing on the tables. Not wondering where the night goes. We're gonna cut loose, and you know there's no use in trying to stop. Oh, the way that you look and the smile that you give to me, it gives a new meaning to serendipity. Never thought I could feel so many the dreams we had come true. Back then, I was still drinking. Back then, I wasn't thinking about things I was doing, what I'd be losing if I saw I'd have got up on the floor. Back then, I was so guilty. Back when, to put it simply, lost all sight of reason was down. When he can't face you.
No?
We were muted!
She nearly did it again then. She does it every time. Nearly doesn't have the starting screen starting at the right time. So a massive welcome everybody to what is episode 2 of Streaming Strategies. Want to take a minute to thank the amazing Arabian Panda. Welcome.
Who comes cute with the cute dog?
Fully loaded with cuteness over here.
Great to have you on the show. Really pleased. Thank you for doing this.
Pleasure to be on, man. Thank you for having me. It's exciting, for real.
Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to just recap where we came from. So the first episode that we did, we talked, and our contention was that streaming is effectively all the principles, or most of the principles that apply to running a small business applies to streaming. And we had a good debate about it. We gave everybody our take on it, and we gave everybody how we started, what we did, what worked for us, where we had to change things. We talked about the differences between possibly Kick and Twitch. We talked about structure. We talked about culture. And really the outcomes really was to try and establish whether we could all learn something. Us, you guys, if you're a streamer, whether you might pick something up, if you are a viewer, to tell you what goes on behind the scenes, because we don't, contrary to what everybody thinks, we don't just turn up, sit down and crack on with it. We do actually think about what we're doing, or most of us do anyway. So that's kind of...
I never think about what I'm doing.
Well, no, I know you do. Well, you've got me, you've got the talent. So it doesn't matter. So what we're trying to do today really is to get a different take. And this is where Arabian Panda comes in, because what we're going to do is we're going to pick his brains as to what he believes, whether he thinks the principles apply, and really to give us some examples of things that have happened to him over his journey, and just to see if they align themselves to our beliefs or whether they are entirely different. I certainly know one aspect that's different, which I'm going to come back to. So we are going to play a few tracks in between as well, just so everybody break it up a little bit, and so we can stop talking and play a song. And you're going to see Arabian Panda play guitar like you've never seen before. So, are you ready? Are you ready, young man? So,
yes, sir.
What I would like to start off really is for you to introduce yourself as to what you think you are about in terms of streaming, and maybe talk a little bit about how you got into it. Did you have a plan? What was your plan? Did your plan come to fruition? Those kind of things. So I'm gonna shut up and let you talk a little bit, and I'll interject where I think it's relevant.
Alrighty. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And my name is Arabian Panda. I come to you live from Dubai. I do everything and anything related to music, mainly guitar. Work on, writing music from scratch, improvising, remixing different genres, kind of combining pop music into metal or heavier rock, metal-fying jazz music or whatever it may be. And I do a couple of other things where, just chatting, some gaming, but mainly it's about music. But ultimately, it's kind of just starting a channel, starting a community, by the community, for the community, to have like-minded individuals in it. How it started, it kind of goes all the way back a number of years, because I was on social media first. And that was a mistake. Like, how I got into social media was by a mistake, where I used to box, and my Instagram page was mainly about fitness and like gym and tips and tricks and all of that when it comes to training. And then people pushed me to put some of my music out there, and I put a video. I was playing some Viking metal, some Amon Amarth, some Viking metal cover in the desert, wearing the traditional, Arabic or Middle Eastern clothes, and that just blew up overnight, dude. That kind of just almost doubled my account following, or support base, if you will, and it became a thing. And then since then, kind of just took off, and it took off, and it took off, and it took off. I started at like I was like 1,500 supporters when I was doing fitness and stuff, and then I posted that video, and I kid you not, I thought I was hacked or like bot attacked or something because I was just reloading my feed, right, and kind of just kept on spinning and spinning and spinning, and then I see all these notifications. I'm like, oh my god, what just happened? And it went like to like 3,000 and 4,000, and then just kind of the momentum just picked up and picked up and picked up. And I was known for that riff guy, the guy that knows how to, I consider myself, I'm not a lead player when it comes to guitar, but I know how to, improvise riffs and write rhythm and stuff like that. And that over the years kind of transformed into, I was looked at as Arabian Panda, the musician, and then it kind of turned into, this is Arabian Panda who also does music, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So it kind of moved into like a little bit out of music and into, I don't want to say vlogging, but it became like a day-to-day, what are you doing kind of thing. And that's where like I branched out to different streams of content creation, if you will. And it was until one of my very good friends in the music community, I was against streaming for the longest time. I'm not joking. I was dead on against streaming for like 4 years.
Why?
As my, because it's just, I'm like, oh dude, come on man, like sitting in front of the camera, I am not camera friendly, even though a lot of people tell me I am. I don't see it. I didn't see it back then. I thought my attitude was not social media friendly, because as you know, I'm kind of like straight to the point, I'm blunt, I'm honest. I think I'm respectful, but that doesn't mean I won't poke your opinions if they're not on solid grounds. And nowadays, I'm sure we can agree that a lot of opinions are not on solid grounds. So I was like, this is just a recipe for like, just disaster, basically, in terms of backlash, in terms of just, so I was dead set against it. And then a good friend of mine who actually started like the first Middle Eastern music community, streaming community on Twitch, kind of took off as well. And I was sitting in his backyard one day, and he was like, we were talking about what we want to do with social media and how we go forward and how to grow and stuff like that. And he was like, dude, listen, you're not a musician anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I was actually struggling, because it got to a point where, imagine having to write a new riff every 3 days, where you have to compose guitar, bass, drums, synth, keyboard. You have to write that down. You have to record it flawlessly. You have to edit it, mix it, master it, produce it, and then film yourself playing, edit the video, and come up with taglines and all of that, and then post it every 3 days. And it wasn't even my main job. It was just a hobby. You know what I mean? So I was like, dude, this is getting just way out of hand, and I can't keep pumping this much music because quality is going down, or inspiration is going down. And that's when he was like, you need to pause and stop looking at yourself as a musician. You're not a guitarist anymore. You were 3-4 years back. But whenever you go to the music community scene, or like when people see you on social media, they see Karim, which is my first name. They see Karim / Arabian Panda, who does music. So people are interested in just you kind of sharing your life aspects with them. And that's when it kind of clicked. I was like, okay, before I get into Twitch and those platforms, let me unfortunately try TikTok and stream there. And that's where I started first. And I was like, yeah, I'm not making anything out of this. I'm not, whatever. And that also blew up. Like that actually took off a lot faster, harder, and gained a lot more traction, momentum than my Instagram. In 5 months, I tripled the support base that I had built on Instagram for 3.5 years in 4 months.
Wow.
On TikTok.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So that's when, it was just, I mean, like as of today, I'm like, I think 17,000 supporters on Instagram and like 48,000 on TikTok.
Wow.
And I've only been active on TikTok for like, these numbers are from being active for almost 7 to 8 months. And I was just recycling whatever posts I have on Instagram. That was my baseline to post. But then with streaming, that kind of took off. I was signed to TikTok Middle East for a little while. They picked me up on their artist roster and stuff like that. And that's when I was like facing the reality of, okay, I think there's a route here to streaming. And I started Kick, multi-streaming on Kick and Twitch. a year and almost almost a year and 2 months to be exact. And here I am today.
Right, I've got 10,000 questions from all the things that you just said now.
You asked like 5 questions, like with an introduction. It's like, where'd you come from? What are you doing? Where are you going? What did you do?
Well, that's good. That's good because the chat now. So, chat, if you want to ask any questions, feel free. But I'm going to start. So,
Can I start?
yes, go on.
Because I'll ask the easy questions. Andy asks the smart ones. So when you said you started live streaming, were you on just Kick and just Twitch and then collaborated, or did you start them both at the same time?
Nope, both at the same time. First stream was multi-streamed, and every other stream for the past year and a couple months has been multi-streamed.
And did you do
With the exception
anything?
of like the other 6.
Did you do anything beforehand with the other platforms you were on to say I'm going to be streaming on this platform if you want to come and see me?
Nope. That's the thing. It's like
Okay.
people say you have this background. Why are you not? I think I advertised on TikTok 0. Did not make a single mention that I'm going to Kick or Twitch. On Instagram, I think to this day, in a year and a couple of months, I posted maybe 4 to 5 stories that I do Kick and Twitch now. I stream because and my community manager is watching, and she probably hates me for this right now. But yeah, I'm not using any of that as a marketing technique, nor I'm planning on using it, but honestly, I wanted the start to be, because I don't know how far you guys want to dig, because there was drama behind the social media world kind of thing, and I was just like, I'm cutting everything. I'm stopping to the point where I don't even want to be exposed to those platforms. I want to start fresh, and I want to see what is this big deal of people saying you can't start social media unless you can't migrate to another platform unless you have a very big presence in another social media platform. And it was almost like it's kind of like I was trying to set myself for failure, because I was still a little bit against streaming up until that point. You know what I mean? So I'm like, nah, I'm not going to put effort into it. I'm not going to put marketing effort into it. I'm not going to try to migrate people from other platforms. And yeah,
So you bought the trend really, because, and again, talking about business principles, every business principle under the sun would suggest that that's what you should have done. And yet, your growth in the first 12 months, if I compare, because I'm very analytical, you know me, if I compare your growth and relate it to the hours that you have streamed, which is certainly of lately not as much as you probably did in the initial stages. I know you did a lot early on. Yeah, your growth has probably been bigger than most, if not all, streamers. You got to 3,000 followers in like what, 10 months?
Yes and no. If we're going to be analytical and a little bit like, I want to say hypothetical, but if we're going to look into data and momentum, at one point, yes, I'm proud to say that we were called a couple of times the fastest growing channel in the music niche on Kick, and I think that's a fact, and that can kind of back itself up, but it's not for bragging rights. It's almost more of the goal is being achieved, you know what I mean? Because when I was against streaming, I quickly saw what's there, and like the vision changed, if that makes any sense. Because it seemed like too good to be true what I wanted, because on social media, I wanted a community by the people, for the people. I didn't want to be a content creator. I didn't want to be a social media person. I didn't want to be, the most disgusting word in my vocabulary is influencer. God, no. I just wanted to be a dude who does music, who chills with people, who appreciate music, and talk about other things. And I saw that when I was streaming. But in terms of back to the data, yeah, at one point we were called like the fast growing channel in music, and then I hit a burnout phase. And if I would have kept that momentum, given the extremely exhausting hours I was streaming, I think it's safe to say I would have doubled, close to double that figure. If I was streaming the same exact way I was streaming for the first 6 months, if I applied that for a year and 2 months, I think we would have been at least 4,500 to 5,000. But yet again, It depends on Kick's viewership growth as well, because you
Yeah.
can only grow momentum as much as the market share, if you will, if we're looking at it as a business, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to Dogs.
Thank you, Docs.
Really, really appreciate it and hope you're okay. And welcome in again to everyone. Thanks to our mods for being here. No, we haven't said proper hellos to everyone individually, but
We've
appreciate
got a lot to talk about.
we've got so much to
So-
talk about.
Initially, right.
It, man, we just like bam.
So we're gonna play. We're gonna show everybody why we're gonna show and let everybody else judge in a moment, because I'm gonna get you to play a song in a moment, or play along to a song. However,
No joke, that caught me off guard, and I was only informed of that like an hour and a half before the stream. I'm not even warmed up, but thank
well, you know me. I'm just like,
In the deep end.
just
Oof.
tough love,
you. Let's
tough love.
because yeah, you're gonna be playing a couple of tracks, man. Well, good morning to you too, buddy.
Right. Okay. So you said very early on that it blew up with your words, and you just talked about your numbers. You weren't bragging because it was me who said it, right? I know your numbers were crazy, because we thought our numbers were crazy till we looked at yours, and then it was like, wow, actually we're lagging behind. Adele, come on, get your finger out. So, why do you think it happened? What is it about you that made everybody go, I'm here. I'm
Thank
listening
you,
to you.
Corey.
Dude, I asked myself that from the moment Instagram took off. If you ask people, I think you'll get a different answer. I think there's three main components to blowing up or whatever. A lot of people would say the music, the talent, which I think I am, and I advertise that as mediocre at best, or above mediocre at best. You'll hear people say the personality, which I think is the main thing that got me here. And then third, you might hear the energy or the attitude, the positive attitude. And I think it's the latter. It's not like the music is nice to me, but I think honestly, other than the little, I would say the shock factor plays a role in it too. Being an Arab playing heavy metal, wearing traditional clothes, it's an attention grabber for sure. And it's not necessarily just good attention, because if you go on my social media pages and read some of my comments, you'll be like, wow, why is this guy still doing this? But that actually kind of fuels me, to be honest, in a very good way. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a second. But I think honestly, if I look into it, I honestly think it's because people are seeing someone who, I don't want to say doesn't want to do social media, but someone who doesn't care about the social media presentation. Hi guys, da, 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 da. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, what's up? Let's do this kind of approach. And I think it's just the being yourself is I think what got me here, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Authenticity.
Yeah. I would say, yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it's a combination of all those things. I'm glad you mentioned the last thing, because it is when we went into your stream the first time, it was a massive shock for us, because you were dressed in the costume, as you called it, and which I googled last night, but I've forgotten what it is.
Is it Throb?
Thobe.
Yes.
It's Thobe without the R. Thobe.
So it was the shock, and then it was like, oh my god, he can play guitar. And then, as I got to know you,
It wasn't only that you played the guitar. It was like death metal.
Yes,
I think it
yes.
was like, wow.
yeah, you expected
Yeah.
kind of Arabic kind of like sounds coming out, and you didn't get that, and it was like, this is
We were like, yes.
this isn't right, but it's fucking brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So that was,
but it's all right.
yeah. So initially it was a shock. Then it was like, actually, he can play this guitar. But as time went on and I was in your stream, what hooked me, I'll be absolutely brutally honest, what hooked me were the conversations. and the way that you articulated yourself, the way that you had a refreshing outlook on things. I think the fact that a lot of your values were values that I shared. The fact that when I made a comment, you would take the trouble to go even further and to kind of like pick it apart and agree or disagree and give you reasons why and whatever. So the personality was massive for me in terms of that. So I think for me, you've got the whole packages going on there, and then it was like, well, actually, he's not a streamer anymore. He's one of my mates. He's one of my mates because that's how you made me feel.
So Darks,
100%.
Darks has just said, Panda's personality is just nice to listen to. His talks, not even there for the music. I just like listening to him yap.
That's one thing I'm very good at. I'll tell you that.
So yeah, so I think it was a combination of all of those things for me. You know,
But to me, that's what we look for when we go into people's streams, and you know, you don't just want to hear that they're good at something. You want to know that they're a nice, genuine person, and you can have that conversation and know they're not just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Having a conversation with you, that they genuinely mean it and that they're genuinely interested, which
authenticity, which is, I think, a word that we use a lot because we like to think that when we're on stream, and people who've known us outside of the stream just said, it's Adele and Andy, they're just the same in real life as they are on the stream. And
I'm just a bit more awkward in real life, really.
I think people can pick up, and I think advice to streamers, be yourself, because you're going to get found out if you're not. And
we weren't ourselves when we first started. I mean, we started on Facebook, and I hate Facebook. I'm very open about that. It's one of the worst platforms in the world. But we were like this, and we never spoke. And we were like, right, next song. And there was no conversation.
No, there wasn't.
It wasn't until we started, you know, on the proper streaming platforms.
Finding your groove.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have this like performance face on, right? Like it's like we're musicians. You performed live. I performed live. You know, where it's like in a genuine way, it's like ops mode. All right, we're live. We are performing. So set one, track one, track two. You know what I mean? That's like you're in doing your set list, and then you show a little bit of face, and then you're off stage, right? But then there is the non-performer element that comes in, and what you guys are referring to is like the authenticity part. And a lot of streamers see that, because I just wanted to touch on the point of be yourself, because like as we just established, it goes a lot more deeper than the, you know, what advice do you have for streamers? Oh yeah, just be yourself. Yeah, the fuck does that mean, dude? Like like be myself in what sense? When I'm happy, when I'm angry, when I'm grumpy, when, you know what I mean? It's, I think you gotta find a combination of yourself, of what is just yourself. That's a combination of ops. Keep in mind that you're live. Keep in mind that you're performing, and at the same time, don't come off as robotic, right? It's not just like choose one mood you're in. It's kind of like you're alternating. I don't know if that happens with you guys, but being yourself, like I'll go through some waves of ups and downs in terms of what my moods are and what attributes I want to pick from that mood to show on camera. You know what I mean? I can be happy, laughing, smiling. Someone just cracked a joke, and then someone comes in, hey, what's up? How you doing? Oh, my dog just died. I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, this is my energetic self. That sucks for you, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to take that in and read the room virtually, which is very hard sometimes.
Yeah. Does the reaction from the community change your mood during a stream? Can it change your mood during the stream?
It used to, with the comments from social media, like TikTok and Instagram, at the very beginning, because a lot of people around me, like I said, my music was just for myself and for like close people around me. And putting it out there, I already beat myself up when it comes to like production and music and quality and stuff like that. If it's not radio ready, I'm not gonna post it. And yeah, seeing some of the comments of it was about the hate more than it was about the music itself, and like the online, you know, racism kind of thing. That shit gets to you, man. But then that's when I tied that to one stage in my life where I was exposed to a lot, and I mean a lot, of racism going into school, in some parts overseas. And I just start tying my social media exposure to racism to how I replied to racism when I was dealing with it, which was, dude, that's funny. Like if someone makes a racist comment, I'm like, oh my God, that is funny. And I'll kind of flip it to use their stereotype in a humorous way and a like degrading way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And that's where I developed my tough skin, because at one point I was in, I had a shotgun pointed in my face for wanting petrol at a gas station in West Virginia. And that was fucking scary to say the least. And I had two options walking out of that gas station. One, I think justifiably a 16-year-old would hate all white people because I just came in for gas and I got a shotgun pointed in my face and I was told we don't serve your kind around here. Something along these lines, but it was not that nice. You know what I mean? So I had the option of, well, screw that race, screw that, and screw that system of belief. And anyone that resembles that is an X in my book. That's one. And then two, okay, that's really messed up, but it's kind of a funny story to tell one way or another as a laugh at my pain kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So kind of going off on a rant here, but yeah, that tied really closely with some of the comments that I got. And then the more I developed that sense of humor about that topic, it actually became fuel, man. Like I would not delete any comments. I will not block any comment. I would respond to comments. Like I would even like push the line of that racist joke or line. That gets under people's skin. And that's when I realized I can try to learn to be super tough skin, or I can just flip the table and not seem like I'm whining or complaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I want to talk a little bit. I'd like you to. Are you up for playing a song?
yes, sir. Let's do it.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to come back to this because we have a fundamentally different viewpoint of trolls and people who are coming into the community talking about all manner of things where we would probably ban people fairly quickly. You have a different view, and I want to come back to that. But let's have a listen to a song first, or listen to a play along. And
just a friendly reminder to both sets of chats, if you want to ask any questions,
please do so, folks, because this is for you as much as it's for us. So we want you involved as much as you can.
Okay, before we do a quick sound check, how about we let your peoples know what we mean when we say improvise or remix. So I don't know music theory. I think I have an ear for music, and I have somewhat of a photographic memory, if you will. So I don't know theory, but I kind of like know shapes and memorize shapes. So when I say improvising, we can kind of like come up with a song or a solo from scratch. So if you guys don't mind asking your chat to give us a letter, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the most repetitive letter, we will use that as the key that we're going to together search for a song in that key, and we're going to improvise something in that key. How does that sound?
That sounds brilliant. So chat, all you need to do is to pick a letter. So please don't pick Y or Z.
A, B, C, D, or E.
You're going to have a couple who are going to say X and H and L. That's a given, Andy.
It'll be me. I'll be Z. And Jay, if you wouldn't mind just letting us know levels that are coming through, because we can hear it fine, but if it needs to go up slightly or down slightly, if you could please let us know, we would really appreciate it.
So at the moment, E is winning.
E is winning.
E is winning at the moment.
We've got A for Adele and Andy. Oh, Andy and Adele, sorry.
Thank you for getting it the right way around.
Yeah, that's okay.
So the way I would go about this is I would just go to YouTube and I would type in metal backing track in E. And then we'll just listen to something and see if we can come up with something. So give me a second. Oops.
What will be interesting for our community as well is that that you will have seen me play guitar many, many times, and the way that I approach playing guitar is entirely different than Panda, mainly because his fingers work a lot quicker than mine. However, it would be interesting for you to kind of like comment on different styles, because I will probably play a song afterwards, so you can have a look.
Hello to Whippy and to Zaki Man as well. So we're just going to mute our mics just so it doesn't interfere with Pan's performance.
Yeah, and just at any point, do jump in and let me know if the sound is off or
Yes,
if
we will. We will.
let us know if it's level and stuff. Okay, alrighty. So here's where's my YouTube page? We got this. All right, we have a inspired melodic ballad style guitar backing track in minor. Okay. All right, just give me a thumbs up if the music is coming through. I feel like the music is super low. Are we good? Or like it's almost like I can't keep up with the track. All right.
It's good.
All right, that was probably like the worst performance I've ever done. but I did warm up and he put me on the spot. So yeah, and I think just the track just repeats from there and repeats and repeats and repeats. So
But that gives
Do
us.
you know,
that
do you know
gives-
what I loved about that then? It was just, you were just
What?
like, I'm just casually just going to start like, one-handed, whilst you slip your earphone back in. I was like, you know.
So Whippy's just said, can you please stop? Andy is about to trash his guitar. Thanks.
what?
Can you please stop because Andy's about to trash his guitar? I think he's trying to say that I won't ever play again after watching you. I've watched him for so long, Whippy. He makes you sick, but you know. And Andy's asked if I'm going to give you some lessons, but I think he's being sarcastic there. So yeah, it was absolutely
no,
fantastic.
I do take lessons from you, man. Like we always exchange like tips and stuff.
Yeah.
It's two different styles and like articulation and dexterity and like the vibe when you play and stuff. It's not necessarily about playing it fast. It's playing it with feels. That's
Yeah.
why I don't consider myself a lead player at all. Like just give me some chuggy chugs and like some low notes and stuff.
It was really nice, you know, because somebody, I think he's in the chat now actually. Wattsman, I think, came in the other day and he was a guitarist and he was saying like, mate, you felt that song all the way through. I loved it, you know, and that's. I said one of the things that I said is I play within my limitations. I know what I can do and I know what I can't do. I'm not going to try and do something I can't do. I'm going to try the best I can with what I know I can do, and that's my take on it. But that was ace.
Maximize your style.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Are we doing another one? Are we good for now?
It's entirely. You can either do two together, or we can do one a bit later on. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to do.
I'll leave it to your peoples, man. I'll leave it to the community.
Do you want to hear another one? So you can either hear another one straight off Panda now. We were going to do it, but I think you've heard us enough, to be honest. We can do one if you want, just to give you a contrast. Or you can wait till a bit later and have another song. You tell us,
Spread it
guys.
out.
You tell us what you'd like us to do. We don't mind. We're very, very happy. Can I remember now what it was I was going to talk? Ah, yes, I know, but I've got something else I wanted to just check as well. Just while people are deciding. A quick question.
Yeah, do another one. We'll break it up a bit so you can pop your guitar down.
Yeah, you can pop your guitar down, and people are saying a bit later if that's okay.
Right. Cool.
Okay, so one of the questions that became an obvious question to you, and I don't know whether you'll know the answer to this, but I'm interested to know. So you've broken all the rules on the kick side, and you've absolutely stormed ahead. What about the Twitch side?
Twitch side, I would say the channel is, it's not almost, it's definitely insignificant compared to Kick. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like it's my I don't know, my presence on Twitch is negligible to say the least. But I'm streaming the same frequency, the same content, same schedule, same everything. It just didn't, or it's not working on Twitch.
Do you have any like thoughts on why that might be?
Like what the differences you've noticed between the two platforms?
Because you could argue that we are far more, well, you wouldn't argue, it's true. We are far more successful, we're accepted, I think, more on Twitch than we are on Kick. So what's going on?
I think it comes down to a couple of factors, and none of them are nagging or complaining. I think it just comes down to a little bit of timing, a little bit of community, a little bit of company approach as well. Before we talk about why we think we're not working on a certain platform, we need to understand what does that platform want, which content to work, right? So obviously music, you guys made it on Twitch, for example, or like your presence is much bigger there. You started a long while back, and I think there was this huge surge of streamers, and I say quote unquote because I use that term very lightly because everyone thinks that, oh, I have a camera, I'm a streamer. No, you're not. But we'll get to that in a second, where I think like COVID or even like a little bit pre-COVID, there was this huge influx of streamers, right? Who just put their cameras on, or, you know, they were locked down and they really put into their their setups, and I'm talking mainly about like music and performance and that kind of thing. There was a huge influx, and there was a huge demand as well in terms of viewers, because everyone globally was locked, right? They were locked down, and people were online viewing stuff and watching stuff, and just people wanting an outlet. And some people like really took streaming as a main thing. You know, it became source of income for a lot of people who weren't able to go out. And at that time, it was almost like Twitch was already huge as is, right? But at that time, there was this huge demand for streaming and for viewership of streaming, if that makes any sense. This is my thoughts. And here's a cat who's trying to scratch me. Say hi. Just put her down. And then also at the same time, Twitch was and still is the dominating streaming platform. So they really have the monopoly of what works. I would say Twitch is super heavy in revenue generation. Like their model is very aggressive when it comes to streamers and the revenue sharing and stuff like that. So they have absolute power to kind of force the content on you. And believe it or not, even if you're searching other places, like they will front what they want to front. And it's not just about front paging, it's algorithm, it's about like, you know, the structure of the pages and stuff like that. But I think for me, I came in at a time where Kick was making a buzz still in that time. It was like beta, still is kind of, you know, version 1, version 2, whatever you want to call it. And Twitch has been super established and super saturated by then. And I think Kick's focus on small streamers completely knocks Twitch's approach to smaller streamers night and day. Like I guarantee you right now, if you go on front pages on both platforms, you'll see, you know, front page on Twitch, you get like people with thousands and thousands and thousands of followers and viewers at the same time. But that's what makes them the most money. Yes, that happens on Kick too, but at least they leave us this, and I say us because I'm still part of that, right? They leave that little very noticeable part where they leave it for upcoming and small streamers. I honestly think from a, like, not my opinion, from like the platform's point of view, I think this is where it's clear how much more I was exposed on Kick and not Twitch. I've never been featured on Twitch. I've never made it to the categories feature. I don't think, without any raids, I don't think I made it to more than like 25, 30 constant average viewers on Twitch while I was streaming on Kick with 50, 60, 70 plus without raids.
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
And I was, you know, Eddie, within the first like month and a half, my first encounter with Eddie actually was, who the fuck is Eddie? That's literally what I said. And I think there's a clip there where he raided me and he hosted me and he dropped like 100 subs, right? And I was just like, am I being botted? Like my first time thinking that I'm getting botted. Like, what is this? And people are just, Eddie's here. I'm like, the fuck is Eddie, dude? But mind you, this was me just like the first month streaming. And they're like, he owns this joint. I'm like, oh, Eddie, that Eddie, okay.
To be fair, I bet he loved that.
Yeah, it was funny, man.
Yeah.
I think I even like hid under the table for like 30 seconds after.
Fantastic.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, the other thing that I think is interesting, and I don't know how to express this in the right way, but I think a lot, particularly if you get on the front page, a lot of the viewers on Kick are from a different part of the world than they are from Twitch. Do you think that makes a difference?
Yeah. I would also say, I mean, it's more of it's the influx of new viewership at any given time. Just to understand the question, do you mean like different parts of the world as in different time zones, or like
no, not
different...
necessarily. I mean, if we get on the front page, you don't tend to get many English or American people, for example. On Twitch, it's not that likely that you're going to get many people from Turkey, for example.
100%. Yeah. And but that gives you from a a company foundation point of view, the area of focus, right? Because Twitch, you can arguably say that their top viewerships is you have North America, Europe, and then debatable would be Australia or maybe South America.
Yeah.
Not really sure. But with Kick, it's like their reach, right? So they started North America, obviously, focused heavily on Australia, and then they moved to EU, and then now they're making it to South America, Asia, and the Middle East. But yet again, that's because Twitch has been super established by then, and that's the target that they want. That's the target audience that they want to promote to. So I completely agree. I get a lot of people from Turkey. I get a lot of people from Argentina. I get a lot of people from Brazil. A lot of people from Iraq too. Like completely different than Twitch. But yet again, I've never been front paged on Twitch, so I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
Brian, thank you for the resub. Hope you're okay.
Yes, appreciate it. Thank you. I think I wanted to go on to next this fundamental difference between the way that you approach trolls and people who come into the chat who
Let's call them time wasters.
time wasters. So our view, rightly or wrongly, and this is probably because I'm a bit lazy. I can't really be bothered with them, so ban them. Whereas it's hard. Is it not hard to get banned on your channel?
I mean, vulgarity, not in the sense of racism, because that's when I'll use that as a topic to flip it against them. But if it's something like, clearly that is,
Yeah.
vulgar, that's immediately banned. But if it's trolling, like trying to hurt feelings or whatever it may be, oh no, that's kind of welcomed. And I don't say that as in, please go make accounts and come troll me. No, it's more of, it's open for discussion. Because I have my own take on people who troll, especially internet trolls that leave comments is one thing. Everyone almost, there's a little troll in all of us. I'm telling you, man. Like subconsciously or consciously, there's a little troll in all of us. It's just to what magnitude. But for streaming in particular, that's a special kind of freaking troll, man. Because think about it. That is someone who would wake up, would look at themselves in the mirror, doubt they wash their face, let alone shower, and then they look in the mirror and they're like, I'm gonna spend 4 to 5 to maybe 6 hours of my life today trying to get live under someone else's skin. That's what I'm gonna do with my precious free time. That's it. I mean, versus someone who scrolling on Instagram, they see something, here's a racist comment. That's racism on the go kind of thing. But this is like dine in trollism. You know what I mean? So I think that is a lot more psychological than it is just ha 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 ha, I'm gonna troll someone. Because that is like, it's almost like premeditated, right? Like trolling on social media or leaving a comment, that's trolling on the go or as it comes. But this is like planned. Like people do that. People scour the streaming platforms to see who they can stalk or troll. That's here and that's here. Like something is wrong with those people. And I take that very, very, very sincerely. And I'm sure you've been in multiple of my streams where I don't troll trolls. I actually sometimes like have a very serious, open talk, and I actually encourage them to let shit out even more. I'm sure you've been in one of those where I want to listen to them because I genuinely believe if they're not lonely, something psychologically is wrong. If something's not, that person is deeply hurt, damaged, or just fucked up. Excuse the language. And the last thing I want to do is to deny that person attention because clearly they're desperately seeking it. And you never know, dude. I might be going way down the rabbit hole, but you never know, dude. If someone is that unstable to wake up, look at themselves in the mirror, and they're like, I'm going to spend 8 hours streaming, looking at streams, and trying to get under people's skins. Dude, what the fuck? Like, you shutting them down or denying them, they can actually, that could be the straw that breaks their back and they end up doing something harmful. I mean, I don't know if I can go that far, but I like to think of it as that far because one of my degrees is in psychology, and it's specifically in profiling. I might not see the person in front of me. I'm not talking to them. I'm not getting the tone of voice. But, dude, like what I'm saying are very clear clinical red flags, dude. Like very, very prominent red flags, right? So who am I to be? I don't know. I'm nobody to them, or maybe I am everything to them if I shut them down at that very time, at that very instant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Don't want to get too philosophical on that, but
Yeah,
with trolls,
I mean,
I welcome them.
I've even seen people come off your. Well, I've imagined, because I don't know. Obviously, I've almost seen people run off your stream crying because
Yeah, that happened.
you've absolutely wiped the floor with them.
Yep.
Which I found some of the most compulsive viewing I've ever seen, because literally this person was trying so hard and lost big style and just gave up in the end, and it was hilarious. And but there are people, and you're not one of them. There are people who invite this kind of stuff to actually raise their numbers.
Oh no. Yeah.
There are, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know you're not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
People will instigate these kind of things. I just take them on head on as they happen, if they happen.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, just to kind of touch on your business aspect of things. Let's put it this way: you have a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Or you have a shop. You're selling a product. Someone comes in, makes a very heavy, not edgy, not funny, borderline racist, borderline sexist comment or joke. Clearly, they're a dickhead. Excuse the language. You have two options. I think, let me know if you have more, because the way I see it from a business perspective, someone coming in to buy an ice cream and they're like, blah, 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 blah. Your name is whatever Arab name. I have two options. One, get the fuck out of my shop. Number two, yeah, it's not funny, but here's your ice cream, give me my freaking money.
Yeah.
So from a business aspect, how would you serve them? I only say that because and multiple, actually, it's not a coincidence, it's not like one or two times, like more than 9 times, those trolls that came in with either racist, funny, whatever, blah, blah, blah comments and stayed there to get under my skin, ended up either apologizing and following the channel and actually became decent, loyal viewers. That's number one. Number two, apologized, followed, and subscribed to the channel for the way I handled their, it was just a joke when I wiped the floor with them.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
That must make you feel fantastic, though, when you've actually converted somebody who is an absolute idiot into somebody who actually, and it might be that person is followed. Well, I think it's what you're saying, followed and subscribed because they've realised that you are a very genuine person, and therefore they want to be part of that.
The one type of troll that I like is the ones that come in to test if you can have the banter.
Yeah.
To test if you've actually got a personality and you can take it, give it, laugh it off, because they're the ones that, you can be talking absolute shit all night and it makes a stream so much easier because you're just like bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
We did it before. Andy was playing something. They came in, first time chatter, followed, made what you could have deemed as a not so nice comment, and then Andy agreed and he was like, no, that was shit. it was awful. And then it just completely flipped. Yes. Whereas there could have been, the ban could have happened because, in my opinion, one thing that I think we are too quick to do is to slap the ban on people, but because you were so quick with the response and they so quickly flipped around, then it didn't
does
happen.
work. So I think there is a, like, as long as I just put test the water. Somebody put Kiss, Marry, Kill, Anne Frank, Helen Keller. I don't know who Helen Keller is. Martin Luther King.
That's a lot of names involved in this. What was it again?
Kiss, Marry, Kill, Anne Frank, Helen Keller, Martin Luther King. Junior.
Okay. All right. I don't know if that's a test to rebuttal to a statement or.
So it's who would you kiss, who would you marry, who would you kill?
I was like, Oh, that's a tough one, dude. So I got
Should we take the
Helen.
fifth?
I got. I plead the fifth
Yeah, we're
because like
pleading the
we
fifth
can
on
play
that
this
one.
in multiple different ways, man. We
Too
can
di-
play this in multiple different ways.
too difficult, that
Give me
is.
a second to think of that, and we might circle back to that.
Yes. Okay, so I think we're about ready to approach what I consider the most interesting conversation, really. But I'm going to remind the chat as well that I don't think anybody's asked any questions yet. And we'd love to have some questions off you,
Apart from the kiss, marry, kill.
apart from that as well. But I'm gonna broach the thing that absolutely and utterly got me hooked onto your channel. And it was a conversation that you were having, and I was part of it. And I want you to explain it in your own words. I don't want to prompt you because I want to hear it from you. But we were talking about communities. We were talking about this lounge that was sitting there. We were talking about, like-minded individuals. I'd like you to re-establish that conversation that you were having. So what we're talking about now is an ideal scenario from you in terms of, because at the end of the day, communities is what we're about.
Mm-hmm.
So can you
100%.
remember that conversation, and can you
Oh yeah, 100%,
articulate it?
because yeah, we've had that conversation a couple of times, even with different people. Okay, so just to kind of rewind for a second. So when I started streaming, I was against it, right? And I was kind of like, nah, I don't know where this is gonna go. I kind of don't see the purpose in this, but I'm doing because I'm just giving it a shot. And then saw the growth wasn't like overnight, right? The momentum picked up significantly after like the first month and a half. But I saw people coming in, a couple, and just I noticed that people were genuinely interested in the music, and then we started chatting, and I started seeing like, whoa, dude, like people here are actually nice. You know what I mean? Like the viewers. And then streamers started coming in. I'm like, wow, like streamers are actually pretty nice too. And then quickly, just fast forward, I started seeing this like, wow, that's exactly what I wanted to start on Instagram and TikTok, where it's a community by the people, for the people, like-minded individuals. And a concept that I thought could never exist on social media because of the competition, the saturation of the content, and people just being genuine and actually wanting to do something together online rather than, just do their own thing and think of it fully as like, this is my job. I'm not even going to say business. This is my job. I'm here to make as much money as I can. I'm here to do whatever and grow as fast as I can, right? So I saw that, wow, okay, people here actually are very damn cool. And I saw this like-minded individual where I would put the guitar down and we would rant and like the chat would actually respond. And then I saw that, wow, people want this more and more and more. And that's exactly what I wanted, because the way I see my community, or at least the way I wanted my channel to be, and I want my channel to be, and it will be, and it is, where this background behind you and your background is a virtual hangout. It's a virtual studio. It's a virtual gig session where I'm sitting, I'm playing, I'm doing my own thing, and I have my friends, my people. You got people sitting in the back having their own conversations, not even listening to the music. You got some people playing FIFA over there. You got some people listening. You got people interacting and stuff. And to take it a step further, this is what I wanted from the people, like the viewers. And then from the platform, what I wanted was a community of streamers or content creators that see each other first as colleagues, or, like, I don't want to say like initially friendship, but more of like a camaraderie kind of thing, and then competition. Because cutting to the chase, at the end of the day, you and I are competition. Me and Adele are competition. If you want to look at it black and white, 1 + 1 = 2, we stream on the same platform, we stream the same niche, we play the same type of music, and guess what? We share literally the same exact viewership pie of the business. So going back to one of our examples where you're a car dealership, I'm a car dealership in the same country, and there's only 1,000 people who are going to buy cars. We have to compete. We can be friends, we can be friendly, but at the end of the day, you got to make money, I got to make money, right? That's from a business perspective. But from a community perspective, we can be buddies before we can be cutthroat competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So back to the virtual hangout. This is where I wanted my people to sit, here. When I'm done with my session, and what I mean when I say people playing, talking their own conversations here, playing there, doing whatever, meaning when I'm playing live or when I'm ranting, look at my chat. People are talking to each other about something that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about or what I'm playing. That's exactly how I want it to be. It's a hangout zone. And then when I'm done, I'm about to host out or raid out, I'm going to choose someone who's within my competition, within my field, with someone big for music, someone small, someone upcoming, whatever it may be. It don't matter. I will then tell them, yo, I'm about to leave, but the studio next door, there's this awesome people, Adele and Andy, and they're playing music, and they have the same type of vibes to this channel. Go show them love. Go hang out there. The party doesn't have to end. Does that make any sense?
Makes absolute sense. And just before you carry on, so we all the time we've had conversations with our community, and you know, we've been on record saying what we really want, what makes us happy, what makes us smile, really fills us with, is the fact that people within the community are, they're watching us, we're in the background, but, you know, I'm just going to pick a couple of names. Dangerous Brian is talking to Andy McPhotos about something that's completely unrelated to our music, which is exactly what you're saying. We've said exactly the same thing. And that's why when you started having this conversation, we share the complete same viewpoint, don't we?
Yes.
The unfortunate thing is that, and this is where I'm going to be a little bit controversial, that
Are you going to say what I think you're going to?
There's very few streamers that think the same way that we think.
All right, we're going there. All right, cool.
We are going there.
We're going there.
We're going there because it needs to be said.
Oh no, we went there. The foot is through the door. There's no backing out now. Yes, sir. Go for it.
Well, my question to you is, you know, is our view too idealistic? Is it, you know, something that can only be shared between a few group of people that you know, do we trust a few group of people? Do we raid the same people because we trust them and blah, blah, blah? Or do we need to give people the benefit and try and extend it and try and bring them in to extend the community? What's your viewpoint?
Wait, okay, that's a bunch of different answers. But before we get into that rant, keep in mind this view that we share deeply and to the same magnitude. It's coming from two different perspectives. One, you guys are running your channel as a business, as you should, because this is, to this day, until now, and hopefully one day it won't be, it's my hobby. It's not my main source of income, and I do not fully depend on this for, you know, my life.
Yeah.
It's super, like what I'm saying about, you know, the virtual hangout and all that might sound cool, but coming from you guys, it's more endearing and it's more wholesome. And I'll tell you why, because I'll go to my example of the dealership, where guess what? I'm not relying so much on my dealership's revenue, but you are. But on top of that, you're willing, if someone doesn't want your car, you will recommend me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that coming from you guys saying that, that's like that. That's really cool, man. But with that said, so the answer, is it ideal? Yes, for the time being, if you don't do anything about it. And no, it's not too idealistic, because it is doable and it's possible if you kind of cultivate your own community within a community, because we're a niche within a niche within a community, right? We're in kick, we're in music, and then we are in improvising, songwriting, song playing. That's a niche within a niche within a niche. Now, I had this ideal view, and I was naive AF, bro. Like when I dropped down from social media, I was like, F this and F that. And then I came into streaming and I saw like all these friendly people and these super friendly streamers. I was like, oh my God, I made it home. Like, this is where I'm at. Like, I got streaming buddies. We're sharing communities. Like, you know, like, yeah. That was like kind of far from the truth. With, I would say, the majority, like I'll say three out of five streamers that are in your stream when you're first starting, they're not there out of the camaraderie. They're there sussing you, and they're there checking you out. They're there seeing the potential threat. And that is a fact. And I can say, and I'm being conservative when I say 3 out of 5. Now, hear me out. This is when you're first starting. When you see people within your own community, your own niche coming in, and they're just ultra friendly and they kind of want to take you under their wing, be very wary. Not to be pessimistic, but I'm being real. Because it's examples I've been through, I know it's examples you've been through, and it's examples I know many, and I say many, streamers have been through when they start a new platform. So what do I mean by that? It's gaining trust. You're new on a platform, you're trying to gain exposure, and then you see this influx of people from the same platform who are bigger than you. If you have 50 followers and you see someone with 600 followers, you're like, oh, whoa, you kind of look up to that in a way.
Yeah.
And then if you're 600, you see someone who's 2,000, you're like, whoa, and so on and so forth. Just use your common sense, because don't be too naive going into this because it's just virtual, because it's no difference than walking down forget where it is in London, like the strip of like clubs and bars and whatever, going into like East or West London, going into a shady alley, you know, and you got a bunch of friendly people. Some of them are trying to be friendly and some of them are trying to sell you drugs, or some of them are trying to rob you, right? And they could all be dressing the same, they could be all talking the same, but different intentions, different motives. So is it possible? Yes, 100% possible to have that ideal view, but I don't think you should go and just throw your community at anyone, because if you don't know that streamer, right? If you openly say that, oh, I don't know this guy, they seem cool, let's host them, let's see how that goes, right? Nothing is held against you. But if you're trying to create a community of like-minded individuals, you are kind of accountable of what you promote to your people. Mm-hmm. So if you're promoting this channel that has very bad motives, it's kind of gonna backfire on you, because, hey, you told us this person was cool. Yeah. Because you can host people and they'll be nice and friendly, but they will be trying to steal your people. Don't be surprised if you have people lurking in your background, checking who are your top donors, who are your top gifters, who are your top whatever. And they will try to kind of poach, I guess is the word. I mean, we're all people and we have like brains, but at the end of the day, like, you know, people will just do whatever to get those people.
Do you know what though? We've literally, what's just come out your mouth, we've witnessed.
We've seen it, yeah.
And
many times.
Yeah, to anybody who gifts us, we realise we're not in a mainstream job. We haven't got, you know, big companies like, you know, we don't work for a pub chain, we don't work for Tesco, we don't work for Amazon where we're getting this monthly wage. We understand exactly how we earn our living, and we are very, very grateful to all our community. But to watch somebody come in and give that person who may be in the top 5 slot, you can really see what they're trying to do. I think I've got no problem if the number 3 in our top gifted goes into their stream and, you know, gifts. We've got no problem with that. But it's just, I find it absolutely disgusting how obvious it is, how people do it, and they've got no shame in doing it. I would never dream in a million years of trying to poach a gifter. Never.
Yeah. That's your upbringing, right? Because that ties in a lot to who you are, how you were raised, your morals, your principles. That plays a huge factor. It's not just business ethics, if we're looking at this as a business. From an ethical point of view, we can say, oh, tough luck, buddy, cutthroat business. Man, what are you going to do? Yeah. But then also from, plays a huge role.
I mean, at the end of the day, it circles round as well, because those people get found out eventually. You know, it's a short-term thing, but they will get found out because people will see through them.
But we also think, yes, I'm going to say this out loud. We also think it's the same, streamers versus streamers. We see it. We've seen it on Twitch. We've seen it happen. We had a completely different experience when we started streaming on Kick. And yes, we may have fell for some niceties that were not the real thing, and we are learning about it and finding out about it now, a year down the line, and that's what it took for Twitch. So we're still learning.
It makes you cynical. And that's a shame, really, because you know you don't want to be cynical, but it makes you cynical.
Yeah, I mean, a very, very interesting choice of words here, man. And like, you can't help it because you're only human, right? But if you know me, and we don't have to get into too much in depth into that, but I like to see the bright side of things, regardless of, you know, what's happening in my life in the background and stuff. Like there's some sort of, you know, the brighter side of things. You can be cynical, which I have been, But then at the same time, you're trying to build a community by the people for the people, right? You're trying
Yeah.
to build a community of like-minded individuals, right? Clearly, Adele and Andy just there said, "I'm completely against that. I'll never do this. I'll da 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 da." You're not babysitting your supporters. They're adults because they're like-minded individuals, right? Number one. Number two, they can make, because we're talking from a streamer perspective. We didn't even get into the perception of the viewer of why did they gift or why did they go or why did they migrate there, because they're human at the end of the day. They're adults. They make their own decisions. So the silver lining of that is, well, you know what? I can sit here and be like, oh, that douche, or like that, yeah, bitch, whatever, excuse the language. Or I can be like, okay, well, I'm completely against that. I advocate people to spend their money on other streamers out loud on my stream, because I'm like, it's not my main job. Those people do it for a living. Go support them. If you're gonna spend something on me, go do it for them. Because I know those people are loyal to this channel. You know what I mean? So the way I see it is, okay, if I see this person fell for that streamer's, there's a saying in Arabic, something like licking their brain, like, kind of like, if I see that person goes there and like they fell for like those like ass kissing and stuff, I'd be like, okay, that's a person I don't want in my community. I'm happy losing that constant whatever stuff and stuff like that. Look at it from the viewer perspective, and then from the streamer's perspective. Awesome, thank you so much. That's a lesson learned, because now I know what to look for. It's not going to be like a shot in the dark where, okay, well, what about now? We're going to host this person. What if they become the same? You can do it once. You're not going to lose your people. Like, you don't have loyal people if you host one channel and you lost them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing something wrong with your people, right? Because that takes manipulation, cultivation, like forming relationships, forming rapport. And these people are good at it, those streamers. But you lost someone you don't want to be friends with, right? Because they're doing something you're completely against. The silver lining is you learn something. You're learning something now a year later that you're discovering things. Well, that's a good lesson. Like, nothing in life is free, I think. And that's whatever you lost in terms of revenue contribution, it's worth avoiding that in the future, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's either cynical or that.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to. I'm with you, man.
We've gone very deep, and I like deep, and I think, if you're a viewer watching this, if you're a streamer, etc., I think there's a lot for everybody here, and I think it's really interesting, where we've got to. I we'll probably go even deeper, but I'd love you to play another song, if you would like to play another song.
Let's do it. If your people want another song,
they will definitely want a song.
Wallet drop something to drink real quick.
Yes. Why oh dear, long dog? Oh dear. maybe.
I don't like how to laugh at
Flaring Sun has just put what's your guys' opinion on follow bots, or whatever it's called?
Do you mean follow botting, or do you mean view botting? Because there's two different types. There's one where you suddenly get 500 follows in a stream, or there's one, and view botting is where it increases your numbers.
I can jump in. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but my friend, if you're going to pay someone to like you, you shouldn't be in that industry.
Absolutely. End of subject. That's it's not something we would ever consider.
No.
There are lots of streamers that will do that.
But that's their business.
That's up to them.
As far as we're concerned, we're concentrating on our streams. I'm not concerning myself with other people's numbers. I want to see other streamers doing well. Of course, we want to see nice, genuine growth, because we're all about organic growth. But if somebody chooses to do that's their business. We are concentrating on our content.
I'm not,
As far as follow bots go, sometimes that can't always be helped. We've been bot attacked during streams, and it's just follow. I still don't understand it. I don't know whether someone's come in and gone, give us the finger and gone, have that, you sods. Or whether it's just a little glitch in the matrix and these things just happen.
Bear in mind as well, the same thing can happen with view bots. You can have
somebody can come in
and view, and so if somebody's got something against a streamer, they could place bots in your channel to get you in trouble.
So imagine what I put myself through to make an example out of a troll.
Right, I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to use the bathroom while you play a song, and then I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Have you seen that somebody, Pamscats, would love you to play a? I'm not saying. At the end of the day, it's your choice, but I can't even read it, to be honest.
Oh, the Phrygians. Oh, that might be a little bit tricky, Pamsies, because I'm not warmed up at all. We can try to maybe play something similar. So let me just put metal backing track. Do-do-do-do-do-do. But on that, like bot viewing yourself and following yourself, like I never understood the concept of I can go to sleep happy tonight knowing that my stream made it to 1,000 views, and I genuinely believed, like I fell asleep proud of myself, but I paid like $5 to get that done. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. I think it has to do with confidence, maybe, or like an attempt to just wanting to grow your channel. I don't know. That's weird to me, man.
So Dawn's just said being botted is different than buying followers. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
think it's just if you've bought follows, it's just going to be a number on your screen. It's not going to, reflect whilst you're streaming because they're not real people. So your numbers won't differ, your numbers won't increase. Just that number on your page, that's the only thing.
I think people think that it's going to help the algorithm. If anything, it really destroys you.
Yeah.
Like that's why people do bot others, is to ruin your algorithm, or whoever's following your stats. That's why I always report whenever I think even like when I'm like, okay, this number is way too high, because they're getting sophisticated. Like they don't just bombard you with 10,000 views. Like it will be like 20, 60, 65.
Yeah, but I'm just
81.
going to then drop it down, but then I'll pull it back up again. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I think that, I'm like, I always go to help, and I'm like, hey, like I speak to a staff, which they're like within 30 seconds. I'm like, yo, I think I'm being botted right now. Just putting it out there. And they
Absolutely.
take care of that. Okay, we played something. We need. Okay, I'm gonna play something that I'm gonna regret, something fast and stupid, but I'm not warmed up. Awesome. That's like,
Yay!
yeah. Prepare. Nope. No need. No need. I'm just gonna do this. Okay, same thing. Do let me know if all is good, and feel free to interrupt me if the sound is not
Okay.
just not up par at any point. I don't know what I just did there, but again, not the best track to kind of
You've just made
play to.
You've just made Andy cry.
I've just like
It's just a game.
I've just been looking at my fingers like so. I know exactly where my fingers need to. I really shouldn't be saying that. I know exactly where my fingers need to go, but they ain't going to move that. No matter what I do, they aren't going to move that fast. We got Destro in the chat as well. He's another one. He's another one. That's when he's not had 5 drinks on a Saturday night. That is. But even then, he can play quicker than I can.
It's we kind of talked about it, right? Like when you're listening to the key progression. Oi, come here, come say hi. When you're playing, like when you kind of can hear the key progression, you can, if you're following an A B A B A B C or A B C A B C A B C A, you can kind of guess where the next chord is going. So you kind of preempt where it's going. So if you're playing a shape here, you know, on a E minor or whatever. You can tell, okay, now they're playing E, they're probably going to jump to G, then let me just kind of predict it and jump down here. And then suddenly you're kind of just playing the same shape that you were playing, only with a higher note starting on like the same note of the
That
the
easy!
move,
Pull your finger out!
So yes, so how good was that, folks? Incredible, absolutely incredible, and it just like blows my mind every time I watch it. And it's, as I say, we got Destro in the chat, same thing, just absolutely incredible. I want to kind of, I just want to take a moment to kind of
Appreciate how cute your dog is.
okay.
Yeah.
Whilst it does.
Yeah, we're saying? Sorry.
Right. So I just want to take a moment because obviously at the end of the day, and I want to draw it back to the theory of what we're talking about because I think we did set out on trying to determine whether this model of streaming is using all, and I think you definitely started off with an idea, but I think it's fair to say, and I'm gonna be asking you very shortly, where's Arabian Panda going in the future? But I think strategies do emerge from time to time, and I think it's fair to say that you've got to react to everything that's happening around you all of the time, haven't you? You're what works at some point. You've got to realise the lifespan of that something, and you've got to have something to come and jump on the back of it. So I think in terms of business, that's exactly the same thing, fundamentally the same thing with business. But I think you've also got to have those embedded values, culture that drives you to go where you want to go, because if you allow yourself to just simply follow what the next new thing is, that next thing might not be right for you. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%, man. And other than having your own, from your business ethos, your principles, right? Your objective. From a strategy point of view, and I'm like my real job, I am a strategist, right? I follow like a PPA model when it comes to business, which is predict, pivot, adapt, right? So you predict what's going to be the next thing, or like where you're going in something, and then you pivot when it happens, and then you adapt to it, which is exactly what you're saying. I would say 100%, man. You gotta ask yourself first, man, what do you want to be as a streamer? Yes, you evolve. Yes, you transform. Yes, you migrate, you change, you branch out. But who are you? When someone says Adele and Andy, who are they? Like, are they the musicians? Are they the musicians' awesome couple? Are they the musicians / this? Are they the podcasters / musicians? You're gonna evolve eventually. You gotta pivot and adapt. You're not losing yourself if you change, as long as your type of people remains the same, then your core values are still intact, if that makes any sense. So I think we can agree, if you guys steer a little bit from music, which you have established a well enough base on different platforms to do so. You can take a break from music and go into interviewing, podcasting. Does that make you a sellout? Does that make you like, oh, I don't know who they are anymore? No. That's what the people see. You're still having the same people. But I think it's safe to say, we would say that you guys changed if you go from musicians / podcasters to picking fights IRL streaming. Pretty sure we'll be like, okay, that kind of went south. I don't know who those people are anymore, right? That means something is wrong, something went missing in your initial vision. The vision doesn't change. It's called a vision for a reason, like across the horizon. You want to be X, Y, and Z eventually. Getting there, as long as you remain to your core values as a business, you should be fine. They can adapt, but it's like the essence, like the soul of something, right? You can change so many attributes about yourself, but you cannot change your soul, right? That's your vision in that sense. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
You're making absolute
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
Absolutely. Can I ask a question?
You can ask as many as you want.
So, you've just said about the like your your core people adapt to you, like with what you're doing, as long as they can see you're still like your genuine selves. What if? How would you approach it if they wouldn't? If they don't?
well, that's the thing. Then maybe those are not your right people anymore. Because I go back to, you got to ask yourself: are you doing this change because you want more growth? You want more exposure? You want what do you want? Because you got to listen to your people. That's the whole point of a community: by the people, for the people. So I can give you an example on my end. My people are almost annoying me to do more video games. And eventually I'll listen to that. Like, I'm kind of leaning toward, but that's what they want. I like games. It fits 1-on-1. Okay, I give them something they want. I'm changing content. I'm changing whatever. But if it's all of a sudden, like, let's say my core viewers are metalheads, proper hardcore metalheads. And then all of a sudden I'm like, well, you know what? I'm a jazz player now. And all I do is going to be jazz. Now that's what I want to do. That's where you put yourself in a situation where you will lose your people because they're not unless they're there just for you, right? If that changes, then you're going to have to go into that niche's people to connect with. They could be like-minded individuals in your Discord, and maybe they love you enough to join and put you in the background, like Darks was saying, for example, and I'm sure a lot of people do that, but you will lose people. You'll definitely will. Not loyal, but you'll definitely lose your, day-to-day. Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm not, because I'm here to watch your content, and then I'm here for you, right? Versus I'm here for Adele and Andy. I don't care what they do. And sorry if I'm ranting too much on that. It just kind of ties to what my friend was telling me, and they were like, dude, you were a musician. Now you're Kareem/Arabian Panda/musician.
Yeah.
So listen to your people. People were telling me to do more political stuff, to do more this, to do more that, be more raw, more honest, more that. And I'm cool with that. Like, I can turn it up. It works. It works. So
What's quite interesting, so we believe, so our community has told us, a lot of people, not all the people, have said, we're here to share in your lives, whatever you do. We love cooking streams, we love this, that and the other, and we've adapted to that and we've done that. I don't think it's our comfort zone. I think music is our comfort zone, and I think it's where we'll always be doing what we're doing. Interestingly, on Sunday last week, we did an absolute rock-themed stream.
Yes.
Where we played, like Five Finger Death Punch, Alter Bridge, Blackstone Chair, all the kind of stuff. And we thought this is really taking a risk for us, because the majority of the people that come in like
No, it's country music.
Country or poppy, ballady type music. And we got a shot because people loved it. I asked many times.
But even if they didn't, they turned up.
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that tells you a lot right off the bat. Like, who's here for you, who's here for your actual literal content,
Yeah.
right? And you'll be surprised. Like, you think like, oh, I'm out of my comfort zone, I'm doing something I don't want to do, or not I don't want to do. I don't think it's going to sit well with people. If it sat well with you as an idea, it will sit well with your people. Not necessarily the people who are just learning about you for country. I love country. Like, your core audience is going to be there for you before your content.
But
You in your pajamas, just sitting there, just chatting.
Yeah.
You will see your regulars there.
But I think almost we talked early on about the fact that you, when we first turned up and you were in you're in your costume, as you call it, and you started playing rock music. I think for people who see us as playing this very quaint, nice music, and then all of a sudden we're doing the music that actually, I can tell you that Adele and I, if we are not on stream and listening to music, we're listening to rock music.
Yeah.
That's all we listen to. That's what we, and I think
Yeah,
people
but
just
dude, yeah.
embraced that and kind of went along with it, which was. But yeah, I agree with you in terms of there's so far you can go, but you've got to be realistic. It's got to fit with what you do. So we talked about strategy. We talked a lot about culture. One of the things we haven't really talked about is structure. And what I kind of mean by that really is in terms of how you arrange your streaming from. This is you're going to love this question. Yeah, I know you're going to hate this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just because I know you hate it. So, how you organise it in terms of when you stream? Do you stream regularly on this, blah blah blah? Do you just do it randomly? It's also about the people that assist you. So, I'm interested to hear your take on mods. I'm asking more than one question again. He's going to shout at me again. I do this quite often. But those are the kind of things that I'm talking about in terms of structure. What's your viewpoint on those kind of things?
Chris. I am, and I can say this with confidence, I am the definition of the absolute, complete opposite of your cookie cutter streaming advices, which is just put the camera on, be yourself, dude. Just make a schedule. Just content. Steady schedule. If anyone here in the chat knows me, have I ever, and I mean ever, in a year and 2 months, ever streamed on time? And by on time, I mean like a consistent schedule. Have I streamed the same consistency? Have I streamed the same frequency? Have I advertised the same, like, oh, I'm about to go live today? Have I advertised the topic that I'm going to be doing beforehand? None. Zero, zilch, tried it, absolutely hated my life, won't do it, don't want to do it, and that's what working for me. And to go back to your point where when you're talking about data, you're like, shit, your growth actually is very fast. I went against every single advice a common decent-sized streamer would tell you. I didn't put, but don't get me wrong, it's not like, yeah, dude, I'm just gonna do whatever I want whenever I want. No, like I've played live performances before, I've done live shows and stuff like that, but in terms of streaming schedule, I don't have one. I can stream literally 14 hours, and you've seen that. The next day, I'll stream for 1 hour. The next day, I'm not gonna stream at all. This week, I'm gonna stream 6 days out of the week. The next, I'm not gonna stream anything. The next, I'm gonna stream 4, and you get the idea. But people want stability, they want structure. I give them, and I'm working on it, and I'm telling you why I can't deliver that at the moment in a second. But actually that worked to my advantage, because regardless of how long I can stream, like I cannot be online for 3 days, but dude, I'm gonna make your money's worth, because I take you paying to like support me very seriously. So if I don't stream for 3 days, my next stream, bet you it's gonna be 16 hours. Bet you it's gonna be 14. And I've known some of you went to sleep and woke up and I was still there. I saw you in the morning, you hopped into my channel, and then right before you would go on stream, like 12 hours later, you see me still on. Yeah. So it's not like it happened once or twice. No, that's consistent throughout if I come up short here, I'll make it up here. If I over deliver here, I might take a break here. And that's what working for me, because this is not my main job, even though I want it to be and hope to be. Dude, I have a crazy day job. Like I have an absolutely crazy day job, extreme rough hours, mental stress, all of these things. And then, as you know, I do a lot of trading and stuff on the side as well. So I consider that's my second job, tied with Kick or with streaming, which is my third job. So right now the balance is my 9 to 5. That's getting me majority of my income. So I can kind of transfer that into having 2 jobs out of 3. So the structure, I am absolutely the wrong person to ask about that, but I am working on it. I think definitely my performance will be better numbers wise if I had a steady schedule, if I had a structure, if I had all of that. But for the good or for the bad, it's not really negative or positive. I'll be giving up one of my main characters that I'm known for, which is the unpredictability, or like the boom, he's on, boom, he's not. Where are you? The element of when is he going to be on? It actually makes people turn on their notification. It actually makes people want you to join. It makes people reach out on your Discord. When are you going to do something? You know what I mean? So it has ups and downs.
It wasn't meant as a criticism, as you know. And what I'm trying to show people is that, at the end of the day, there are lots of different ways of streaming, running a business, strategy. There's lots of, and what you've just said, that unknown, that idea, is on now, right? I'm gonna, as opposed to, oh, it's Wednesday night again, Adele and Andy doing the same old thing, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that there is a balance. You know, sometimes being too structured can have a negative effect.
But
Yes.
too loose also has a negative effect.
Yes, and you know, again, we're both bright enough to know that there's a balance between the two. So
Yeah. 'Cause from a business perspective, sorry, maybe I understood the question or the statement wrong. Because from a business perspective, structure is huge, and structure is literally what's needed. But I will tell you something, and I'll tell you where my negative side is coming in. Because you're a business, you're open from 9 to 5, four days a week, right? That's your stream schedule. You stick to it, all of that. We're two restaurants. You're open every day from this time to this time. I'm this cool, trendy pop-up shop that's all of a sudden, oh, this restaurant is open for 3 hours. You don't know when it's going to be open again. But it gets old, right? Because people are going to be like, dude, when are you going to be consistent? When are you going to have that open? So it's cool in the beginning, but not. On your end, you could have slow nights at your restaurant, in your business. I don't know why, I think I'm hungry. I keep saying restaurant as an example. But you're open 9 to 5. Dude, you don't have any walk-ins. It's a slow, dead, early morning on a Wednesday. But, okay, because I'm going to be consistent, business mentality, I'm going to be on. That's where it can be negative as well, right? So it's the balance, as you say, for sure.
I think, yeah, I can speak from. I think it's fair to. I don't know whether you agree with me here. One of the most successful things that we've done is we've had regular nights, less of them, and done pop-up streams like without anybody knowing.
Yep.
You know, and I think they've worked really well. So maybe that's the balance between the two. I don't know.
100%.
Talk to me about mods, because you've got some like yourself,
God.
you've got incredible mods. How do you
God
how
bless.
do you make sure that you've got the right mods? What's your thought process?
I've been lucky enough, and dare do I say it, blessed enough to have a couple of very, 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 very loyal supporters from day one when I was on TikTok that knew nothing about streaming, and they moved platforms for me. And when I didn't even know what a mod was, by the way, when I started streaming, like I didn't know what, oh, mod is actually like an admin to a channel. I was like, yeah, whatever. But then quickly, you know, growth, I needed mods and stuff like that. They were super hesitant, but some of the people that moved with me actually became my, and I can't say just like they became my right hand, man, when it comes to modding. And I trust them with my life on stream. Like, I don't question anything they do. I won't question if they ban my sister if she's watching. Like, I'll be like, yep, I trust your decision. So in that sense, I lucked out and trust their opinion. They have an eye for loyal supporters who came in from these platforms, who they were like, you should approach those to be mods. And my tricky part is to take a step further, because I stream different time zones and my time zone is extremely tricky. So I need mods that are up when I'm streaming US, when I'm streaming Russia, when I'm streaming Asia, when I'm streaming Middle East. So I definitely lucked out by having that support system of people willing to learn what a mod is, to take on lessons. And then I've had beautiful people in the community like Darks, Zaki Man, Geo, you know some of my regulars who actually gave lessons to my loyal supporters who became mods, community managers. They taught them how to mod, and that was from the community, right? So the way I've never been put in a situation where I have to really search for mods or have a lack of mods. I definitely lucked out, and my appreciation goes to, I don't know if mentioning their names is like promotion, but they're not streamers, but you know who you are. We got the beautiful Basharzis, we got Demonitska, we got Darkzies, we got Zaki, we got Geo, we got on and off Bahraini. So they're all like day one, either from TikTok or day one, like literally day one, like the first stream, Geo joined. The second, third stream, Darks and Zaki joined. We've been, kicking it since. So they've definitely, and they acted as advisors, really. Like I've been super blessed to have loyal supporters, and then new loyal supporters who are actually also streamers or part of bigger communities. Like what to look for, help me teach people, help me search for people. So definitely lucked out on that one. Definitely.
And like us, it's the most important thing you do, isn't it? It's again, running a business. You know, it's the people that work for you, with you, that make your channel. And I think you kind of like alluding to that as well. Yeah, and we again, we're lucky. We've been absolutely blessed. You know, our mods get up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. You know,
And stay up till that
And
time.
and stay up. So
Crazy.
it's absolutely incredible.
We've got
really.
UK, America,
Value.
Australia.
Yes. So
Crazy.
kind of like, you know,
Do you guys have people stepping up? Sorry to jump in. Like, it's my turn to ask questions. Do you guys have any, like, if like I can give a special thank you, for example, to Pam's cat. She, like, recently she became a super loyal supporter, and then recently actually stepped it up when some of our main mods had, you know, life stuff. I was busy with life stuff. She actually took no one asked her. She took initiative to, like, keep the Discord going, mod when the main mods are not there. So a special huge thank you to her. And the same question goes in terms of, like, do you guys have or had that where you were genuinely like, oh, that is so beautiful, where you didn't ask for it, but someone came up and they were like, hey, I noticed you're short here. I'm kind of
Yeah,
gonna
we've
just
had
step
that.
in it.
Yeah. Yes, we
Beautiful,
have had
man.
that. It is incredible, isn't it? When people do that and have actually seen it.
But the cynical side of it goes, why are they doing that? We go, oh, why are they doing that? But then we go, actually, wait, why are they doing that?
We've had it's absolutely incredible. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Just so that people understand, and I'm not entirely sure I understand. So, what's the difference between a mod and a community manager?
A mod is someone who is modding your channel, obviously, and kind of supporting in the Discord or your social media. In my case, since it was like the growth was kind of overnight in a way, and we didn't like set the stone of who's doing what and whatever, and we had people, like I said, supporters who became mods. This is not their strong suit. They're willing to help here. I didn't want to step on any toes by making someone like, I want you to run my main streams, my Discord, my whatever. So I sat down with my super close people from day one. I was like, yo, no sensitivity, no offense. Who's willing to do what? And to your own, I don't want to be a burden. Tell me what time, like I got, you know, my morning times, my evening times. When are you usually free? And that's when we kind of dissected into, you're America, you're Europe, you're going to be modding only. All I need you to do is /ban, /whatever, change title. Community manager is, you'll look after Discord /main modding maybe down the road helping with marketing if I decide to. And I don't know if she's here. She'll be super happy if I say this. When and if I start posting on social media to like market this, that's the community manager. So it's almost like I don't want to say a lead mod, but a lead mod, because we're all equals in the community. But the Bashir, you know, the person that was like, I'll take on the most willingly and happily. You know what I mean? So that's a community manager in a way.
Okay. Folks, we are getting towards the end of the show. So, again, another, you know, request. If anybody's got any questions, please feel free to do so. Is there anything that you want to... Is there anything I've missed that you would like to talk
No,
about?
there was been at least 3 points where I've gone, and then he said it, and it's just come out of his mouth. God damn it.
Or, alternatively, Panda, is there anything that we haven't talked about that surprises you that you would like to talk about?
Is there anything you'd like to ask us?
In terms of questions, yeah, I do have a couple, and also like a point that we don't need to expand more on it. I guess it's more of like a statement or a comment about the culture and streaming camaraderie and competition, whatever. And one thing we kind of didn't touch on was the hodlers. You know, the people that kind of like do this on their community because everyone is a threat to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My message to those is, you will lose your people because you're going to get to a point where you're kind of suffocate them.
Yeah.
And I've seen this happen to me, and I've been kind of indirectly been told by certain supporters, like, yeah, this person is like a jealous ex, or like a, you know, like the way the comments that they drop. And also I've been in situations where, you know, I've heard people indirectly bad mouthing other streamers in a ha 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 way when they're not present, but their people are present in their channel. Like, you just look bad, dude, or dudette, which is my female version of dude. You look bad. You really do look bad. And unless you're dealing with like a very, for lack of better terms, emotionally unintelligent person, they see right through you. They really do see right through you. So share your people, man. Let them make their own decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to make a point because I can hear Andy McGee biting his nails from here. We've not got Eternals to sit for 16 hours on a stream. We would die. Arabian Panda's a different level, so you're okay, Andy McGee. You can wipe the sweat from your brow.
It's not happening.
It's never happening.
I mean, Adele might stream on her own for 16 hours,
Nope.
but it's definitely not happening with me, without a shadow of a doubt.
You haven't done it until you've done it, man. It's like a marathon. Like, you're sitting the entire time, but you feel like, oh my God, that was a workout. Like, literally, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. I'm sweating, dude.
Hard pass on that one.
So I think
Yeah.
where I wanted to go next was, what does the future look like for yourself? And I know, obviously, you've got a few things that are in the way of perhaps where you'd want to be, but have you got like a clear vision of what you want? I mean, you've said, I'd love to do this full time. Did you say that?
Yeah.
I think you did say that.
Yeah. No, I did. Funny enough, what we agree on in terms of how do we treat our channel as a business model, the things I didn't agree on previously, or not didn't agree on, just didn't see eye to eye because that wasn't my aim at the time, is actually what I'm going to be implementing like down the road in the near future. I do have a couple of things going on in my personal life at the moment that's kind of hindering me from like coming back, like, you know, as strong as I did like the first 7 months, 8 months, but I will. And like from a business structure, if I am to look at this as you know, one of the main sources of income, I'm going to have to treat this as a business and kind of let go of the idealist world where everyone loves everyone on stream and all of that, you know, and I kind of got to get into that little bit of ethical cutthroat business, because as of now, like, for example, I have a zero means, nor do I promote, and I think you know that very well, to, like, I don't have a sub system. I don't have a revenue generating system, because my channel is, I don't care if you sub 1 or 1,000 subs, I'm not going to verbally thank you. I'm going to play you a song. But I never advertised, oh, if you sub 5 subs, I'll do this. Oh, if we reach this goal, we'll do this, we'll do that. If I'm going to look at this as a business that I'm going to have to sustain from, I will have to look at the revenue model more. You know what I mean? And I think it's only fair, because we were talking off camera where, you know, when I would tell you, like, dude, if I'm playing at a bar, at a gig, you're my mate or you heard about me, would you pay £3, £5 at the door to come see a 9-hour live performance of improvising face melting solos? Would you genuinely pay for that? Or would you be interested to see that? If you support any form of arts, the answer is kind of a given. Like, yeah, I'll support that. I would pay to see that, right? I don't have any of that. Like, it's free. I don't care if you drop support, that's awesome. But I will have to change that. That's number one. Number two, structure, which we were just funny enough talking about that. I need more structure, but I cannot overpromise and under-deliver given what I just said about personal life stuff. So when I'm ready, we're going to transition into that where the vision is there, but I need to be realistic about, can I sustain this? Can I actually achieve this vision and actually live it, rather than have it just a vision or a dream? You know what I mean? I need to have it as a goal that I want to achieve, where it's a community by the people, for the people, self-sustainable, and sustainable enough that I can continue to do this as a steady job, as a steady source of income. So that's kind of what's coming down the horizon. And at the same time, the schedule structure of, I kind of figured out where I fit with people in terms of this is music, this is vocals, this is gaming, this is just chatting, this is politics, this is whatever. So there's going to be a menu, let's say. There's going to be a menu that's being set. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we talked about was this idea of having, there are certain things that we do that are more successful than doing others. But sometimes I think you have to give some of yourself back to your community. That's not necessarily going to be something that you enjoy or you generate any income from, but that is a thank you to your community because they want something a little bit different. And I think that idea of a balanced portfolio is a really something that's really important.
I think it helps. I think it helps the streamer as well. I know for us personally, potentially we could be streaming 6 days a week, which we do. We've just done a big massive stint, and if we would have done music, we'd have gone insane. We would have gone, and we would have gone woof.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I think it does. I think that balance is absolutely
important.
Crucial.
Yeah.
And always make your people's times worth before you make their money's worth, because that is the number one currency, which is time. If they're going to spend 4 hours of their lives watching you, make it worth their time before it's worth their money.
Absolutely.
That's my closing comment on that.
Yes, absolutely. Completely agree.
Did you say you had some questions?
No, I think we covered all of that.
Oh, okay.
Like we answered things that we were going to ask, I think.
I think we've kind of touched on most things. I think we've gone through what's interesting about this, and I knew it was the way it was going to go, that we have talked about all the things that we talked about in the theory, but in a deep kind of way.
But it's been nice to get it from your perspective, as you would it, you currently do it as a hobby, and for us who do it full time, it's been nice.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. Yeah. 100%.
So I'm going to have a look for some raids. However, I want to say some thank you. Go on, Adele.
Can we do what we did with Bull? I think.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would love it if you would choose today's host for us on the King side.
We did that
as a thank you.
Yeah, we did that with Bull.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving me the floor.
He's got the power. But massive thank you to everybody who's joined us today. Massive thank you to our mods as well. We're very, very grateful for giving me time again. And we are back, personally, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. It's our bonus night, thanks to you lovely bunch. We're not quite sure what we're going to be doing yet, but we shall let you know in our Discord or on our other socials. Surprise!
I'm trying to see, even in your chat, does anyone have a music streamer in that community that you think we should host? That would be nice to see. And like the list is intense, man. I have Razor Red that's on. I got Bull that's on. I got Steve. I got Breaking Spec. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see if we have the floor on the music channel, because I love to do that. I love to find channels with either a small viewership or a small supporter base that clearly they're new. But if I don't, I usually like to surprise. 1 second, I'll do music. Okay.
So we could go there, but we probably ought to go. Oh, it's just disappeared.
I would say, if anything, I have Razor and Bull.
There?
Give a community by the people for the people. My vote would be for Razor this time, but I'll leave it also with the chat if they would choose Razor or Bull for a host.
Okay, chat,
I would go with
place your votes.
But Razor and Bull. It's a tricky one, so I love those two. And let's see what Razor's doing. Yeah, let's do Razor, man. Let's do Razor, dude. I love you, but you know that Bull will be like, host Razor as well. So I'll go for Red.
Okay.
So we've thanked everybody apart from Arabian Panda. Thank you so much. You've been absolutely everything I thought you'd be. We've really enjoyed having a chat, because it's felt like, I said before we started, it'd be like having a fireside chat, and it has. I'd love to get some feedback from you after this, if you've got 5 minutes.
Yep,
So
yep.
we'll go on a raid and then go from there.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, and say bye, Dudu. And good luck to everyone, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
We shall see you soon, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Natural habitat.
Oh my god. You see what I mean?
So close, I wonder how